My name is Kevin Qian. I'm an actor, artist, and filmmaker in Atlanta. And in this production of Nomad Motel, I play the character of Mason.
So Kevin, tell us a little bit about this production. Give us an overview and then kind of give us an idea what your character is in relation.
Sure. So Nomad Motel is a story about two kids who are trying to survive and build something for themselves. It takes place in California, Orange County, and Anaheim. And these kids live in very different cultures and backgrounds. Mason, the character that I play, was dropped off from China by his dad. He's a parachute kid, and he's left all by himself to fend for himself, to make good grades to get into college. And meanwhile, Alex, my counterpart in this story, is a motel kid. She's one of the many people in California who aren't homeless, but they have to live in motels and live day to day barely scraping by because of the high costs of living. And together, throughout the story, both of them face struggles financially, emotionally, and have to come together through a very unlikely series of events to learn how to survive by themselves and with each other. And through that, they learn a lot about themselves and the world that they live in.
Now, this story I thought was very interesting, and you did a great job, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Kind of tell me, was there anything you picked up along the way as you kind of went through this character that you kind of maybe take with you as, personally?
Sure. That's a good question. I think one of the interesting parts with Mason in particular is that his story is so similar to mine that when I got into the room to really start to work on his character, instead of thinking of all the ways that we were similar, for me, I had to start thinking what were the ways that we were different from each other. And so there's this level of idealism and need that I think that he has is so much stronger in pursuing the things that he wants and not being able to rest for them, that I really think I've taken out of it. Just the opportunity as well. So in this piece, I play a lot of music as well, and I was pretty rusty beforehand. I'd played violin for a while, but having the chance to take it back up has been really great, and now I want to take more of that musicality with me whenever I do other things as well.
Now, you mentioned that you played a violin, and initially I thought it was a recording.
Yes, it's not. It's all live.
Good job. Right. And because I know this role was originally intended to be played in another kind of way. Kind of tell us about how that evolved.
Sure. Yeah. So in the original script, Mason plays the guitar, and his inspirations were still Andrew Bird and David Byrne, people that were referenced in the script. But for this particular production, I didn't play guitar, but I do have about 10 years plus of classical violin training. So I had the opportunity to get together with a local Atlanta cellist artist, looper Okori Johnson. He also goes by the name of OK Cello. He was also a teacher at the high school that I went to, Westminster, for a while. And he helped me go through the motions of trying to modernize my understanding and learning of classical music to create something entirely different. So in the script, there are moments where Carla, the writer, evokes certain imageries. So like for the very first piece, I'm standing on top of a mountain with wind blowing through the forests. And so with that in mind, we worked together to compose a piece using this looper, which is still a very core piece of Mason and the story as a whole, and create something entirely new.
So you're creating original material for this. So you kind of like get what do you call that, credit for the soundtrack?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I got a little bit of sound production credit now from that.
Awesome. So now, was that intentional? Now, did they come to you and say, hey, we need you to create some music for this piece here or there?
They gave me options. So it was definitely in a boot camp situation, because for me, they were looking at that, and they were looking at the script, and they were like, well, we have a lot of different things. We can either have someone come in and compose for you. We can have recordings, and you can just fake it till you make it. But for me, that was such a core part of his identity, and I knew that that was something that I could do. and one of the things that I'm pretty comfortable with is my training in music. And so I was like, you know, I want to take the challenge of composing my own pieces, and really letting, and the challenge of getting them right every night. And so in the show, I have 4 pieces that I perform. One of them is recorded, but the other 3 I play live every night, and so it's a little different every night. But it's an absolutely fantastic just experiment and time to really be able to mess around with that sort of stuff.
So these pieces, are they available? Are they available for sale?
Not yet. We did joke a couple of times about getting together and recording it, but I just haven't had the time yet to do that. But that would be something that would be really fun and really amazing, and I would love to try that out too.
Now, are they fully developed pieces, or just like little snippets of just to keep the play going?
There are. For what we have in the play, most of them are, we planned for them to, with the timing in mind. So, you know, when I play for transition music, we know it'll take about this long. So in my head, when I was composing that part, I was like, okay, I want to make it interesting for this period of time. So, short answer, no, they're not completely developed, but I have a lot of ideas that I'd love to try out. I had to learn how to use the looper for this specific play, and now that I have, it's like a whole new world of music to play around with that I haven't had the chance to do, and that's something that I would love to do. And so making an album or something like that would be really fun.
Now, have you made an album before?
No, I haven't. I have a really old SoundCloud that I do not want to share with people because it was in my I think I can make dubstep phase, but it was not to my liking. But I've made some electronic music, and I played a lot of classical music. But I think one of the biggest hurdles for me when I was trying to modernize it was understanding that divide between like the repertoire training and developing my own relationship with the music, as Akori says. And I feel like with this show and with all of the creative process that I had with OK Cello, it really opened me up to try to experiment with those sort of things as well.